So you have to say, this is turning into a long old season. We're here at episode 8 of this season, and we're barely over halfway through it. Yeah, the whole getting this save completed before the next game is starting to look ropey, especially if I keep missing episodes out. My bad. Hello, my name's Damien, I'm that Trucking Football Manager, and welcome back to Glasses United. You find us sitting pretty top of the league. We're not quite there for the European tie yet, but this is a sneaky way of making sure there's a Monday video, because if I went straight to the European tie and then we lost it, there's no way I'd have time to make there be a Monday video. So I thought, it doesn't do any harm to ensure there's a Monday video by putting an extra episode in. If we get through whoever we draw in the European tie, suddenly this is going to be a mammoth season. But at the same time, it's pretty much deserved. Today, we have Europa and Lincoln back-to-back. Now, obviously, we've been able to put Europa away a couple of times, and that's nice. But we've only lost one game all season, and it was straight after the Europa game you saw when we lost 1-0 to Lincoln. So, there's plenty on both games. This is where we've been since you last saw us. You saw us Europa. As I just said, we lost 1-0 to Lincoln. We were pretty bang average. Chuck friendly and smashed them. St. Joseph's 4-1, Woods with a brace, Howard Williams the other two. Magpies 6-0, 2 for Williams, 4 for Caetano. I approve of this message. Then Monscalpe, nope, that's Man 62 away with a 5-1 win, a hat-trick for Williams, Iceborough and Howard the other two. Monscalpe, Howe, Woods and Woods, 1 penalty and then a header immediately afterwards for a 3-1 win. That one, by the way, was a howler by Moreno. So I think we're back to Trey Hammond in goal again. But that's fine. When you have children in goal, there's going to be mistakes. We've got, like I say, Europa away and then Lincoln away. Europa, interestingly, will be playing Sturm Graz next. So we'll get a rough idea of how well that tie is going to go. I won't probably hang around to see how they do in the other leg, because why? And then when that round is finished, we'll then draw our opponents for Monday's video. Okay? Okay. We went through January transfer window. We have made a couple of signings. No one particularly interesting. Toby Wilson, £20,000. We talked about him. He spent ages refusing to come play for me, and now that he's agreed to come play with me, he probably isn't quite good enough. But he is homegrown, so that helps. The problem is the midfield is the one position where actually being homegrown doesn't help, because we have a lot of homegrown midfielders. It's every other position on the pitch we struggle with. The other is Luke Baxter. Again, I made reference to him before. He's an 18-year-old kid. He's come from Watford. He's 425 grand's worth of compensation, which in hindsight is probably too much. But a good, powerful centre midfielder. I mean, powerful's generous, isn't it? He's a deep line playmaker. He doesn't need the ability to run, does he? Does he? I mean, he can pass. 16 passing. Look at that. Vision 13. Teamwork 12. There's bits of a really good midfielder in there. We'll work out if we become anything else other than that. He never played for Watford. Never played for anyone. Playing for the Redsies at the minute. Outbound, the only one is Richie Blake, who is a left back come centre half. He was signed for being homegrown, I think. Was he homegrown? No, he was not signed for being homegrown. He signed English. That's why I let him go. I knew there was a reason. He was loosely attached to the squad. He didn't play that many games for us. In fact, look, we paid 170 grand for him. He played, 6 times in total between both teams? Sold him for 10 grand. In fact, it wasn't even sold him for 10 grand. What actually happened is that Lincoln came in and went, oi, do you want to come play for us? Offered him a contract. Once that was agreed, I knew he wasn't going to play for us. We might as well get him gone now. They took 10 grand. Get out. It's fine. 10 grand and no wages for the rest of the year. For a player I wasn't really playing, suits me. Yes, I'd rather have had other stuff in there, but I wasn't ever getting that stuff anyway. So, that's where that lies. No big loss. I mean, financially a bit of a loss, but again, There's the bank. £6.3 million in the bank. No idea what I'm going to do with any of it. I keep asking them for stuff. They keep refusing. A warm weather training camp. Don't need that. It's warm enough in Gibraltar as it is. But we have updated a few things. If we go to the facilities page, that's the one we want. We now find ourselves with excellent academy with average recruitment, adequate youth facilities, average training facilities. All I can say is all of those things are much better than they were. We asked for the stadium again. We were rejected again. Personally, I think £6 million with more on the way is exactly where we should be spending that money. Is putting up a new stadium now. But the board are obviously thinking, well, yeah, but you might bottle it from now on. There's no evidence of that so far, but never mind. Europa pose, as always, their challenge, and we can't play Liam Green because he's injured. So we're playing Vincent at centre-half. Yes, I know. But we're also going to risk Ice Perua. He's got a tight thigh, giggity. But we'll risk him because better than the alternatives. Also, because homegrown count. I would rather have Trevor at centre-half and both my first-choice wing-backs and let go the fact that we can't afford to have Dave Woods in the side. Dave Woods can come on to replace Ice Perua. He's proven himself to be better coming off the bench. Ice Perua is just a machine. So we'll do it that way around. And if he does pick up a knock, a tight thigh, he shouldn't pick up a knock, really, should he? So we'll be Hammond in goal with Panagi, Vincent, Trevor and Korosevsky along the back four. Howe and Wilson in the middle. Stevens and Caetano on the wings. Ice Perua and Williams up the top end. Now I'm thinking about it, where is... Oh, Toby Wilson, of course he's playing at centre-half. Idiot. So yeah, he's getting inside and playing well for us. Holmes was the guy who's kicked out of the side, who was also homegrown. Like I say, that's the biggest problem. I'm half tempted to start running three across the middle, just because that's where all the homegrown players are. But... No. Because I was thinking of putting Woods in there as one of the three, but Woods isn't homegrown, which entirely defeats the object. Never mind. They're playing Matt Perez up top. They are not playing Kuna again. They're not playing Misbah. Lewis Webb has fallen out with the management, even though Stephen Mendes is like 37. Ice Perua starting is a terrible call. Paul Santos, season ticket back in the post right now. My God, 20 goals he scored, and the rest, actually, for us across all the competitions. Yeah, terrible player he is, Ice Perua. It's no helping some people, eh? Europa, by the way, drew their last game out with Lincoln, 1 each, dropping points and making it so that if we can survive these matches, which we might well not, don't get me wrong, but if we can, then we'll win the league. Which is what we want. We want Champions League football next year. Yes, please. Wilson to take a corner at the far end. Caetano flicks it on, and it's just over the top, as it always tends to be when it comes to Caetano. Let's get an encourage out there early doors. They've only had the one shot. If we can do what we did to them last time, brilliant. And what I'm really hoping is, obviously against us, they have to... Ooh, that's a good cross. And it's gone all the way through to the keeper. Against us, they have to meet the squad registration rules. But against Sturm Graz, they don't. So I'm rather hoping that when they play Sturm Graz, all the big guns, as those alluded to on their bench, all start, and they might actually get a win off them. I'm sure we've beaten Sturm Graz before with Europa, like on the channel. But I might be wrong. Stevens sends it down the line towards Williams. Beats the defender beautifully. Ice Perua is in acres of space. Yeah, it's a disaster signing in. Oh, why would you play him? He's only scored 24 goals this season. Why on earth would you play him? It's a lovely bit of triangular play on the wing there. And then Williams, it's a lovely touch to take it around Key. Drives it across. Ice Perua is in front of his man. Poor defending, you have to be honest. 1-0 up. The trick is to now not lose to Lincoln as well. That's the challenge. 35th minute. They haven't still had a shot on target yet. Korosevsky throws into Stevens. Back to Korosevsky and chipped over towards Howe. Poor ball. Snade intercepts and sends Few, who by the way is quite good. And Ward, who's also, by the way, quite good. Well saved by Trey Hammond, who's also quite good. Again, the one issue that's coming up is Ice Perua is currently not interested in any kind of a contract. Which means we've only got him for another year and a bit. Which will be enough to turn him Gibraltarian. And ultimately, if he doesn't stay here, he won't be going anywhere else in Gibraltar, will he? So it won't matter about the homegrown status. Gordon back to Watkis. We're forcing them back beautifully, and the highlight ends. Ruznak with the throw into Snaith. Ice Brewer battling while doesn't quite get there. Up the line to Batty. Oh, my 13-year-old self loves that name. Key. All the way back to Bender, which my 13-year-old self also approves of, by the way. And Few is completely unmarked. And it's actually Trevor who's gone walkies this time. I don't really know where he'd gone then. But once again, Hammond to the rescue. Ward's cross is good. Hammond claims it. He's a good keeper, he is. I thought I was signing Hammond as the backup to Moreno, but it's starting to turn the other way now. Wilson to Panagi. And don't get me wrong, they've both still got a Ricketts in them. That's how they keep rotating, is because every now and then one of them makes a massive clanger, and I'll put the other one in for a bit, until he makes a massive clanger, and then put it back over again. But, when you can score 6 or 7 goals in a game, it doesn't matter if you concede the odd one here and there. Stevens, back to Korosevsky, back, a lovely 1-2, cut across to Williams, somehow it's blocked away. And I think the reason why we're able to now overtake Europa, obviously when we were at Europa, we did everything we could to build that homegrown team to beat those rules. And I simply don't think the AI is necessarily smart enough to do that. The AI is buying in whatever it can, and doing very well. Don't get me wrong, Kuna, Mizba, these are all excellent players the AI is managing to bring in, but they're not homegrown. And because they're not homegrown, they can't play them for the entire league season. What a first half. Beautiful. And I think, equally, there are not enough homegrown players. So I take off Stevens. I'm going to put Korosevsky up the right wing. I like him up there. We're going to drop Okio in at right back. But yeah, there's not enough decent homegrown talent. The homegrown talent in the country has not kept up with the league's reputation in the slightest. And that's why we keep playing people like Ryan Vincent, because he's literally the best homegrown centre-half in the entire country. Yeah. So, where I was working really hard on building that level up, obviously Europa have lost Daly and Galliano, their 2 quality centre mids, and also that 2 of their 5 homegrown players. So hit from downtown by Gordon, and it's actually hit Perez and gone out. Where I think if Perez had ducked, that might have gone in the top corner. Well won by Wilson in the middle, but it comes down to Ward. Panagi intercepts, and here's Howe, and he sends one in front of Williams, who's free and clear. Got to beat the keeper, beats the keeper, and cuts it in the middle corner. And that's 16 for him, so he's not exactly slouching while Icebrewer does all the work. But yeah, that homegrown thing is what's killing Europa, I think. And how we are able to beat them so comfortably, because we are making an active effort to go out and buy players who maybe aren't good enough. Really, if you're being honest, is Caetano good enough for this squad? Is Wilson good enough for this squad? Is Vincent good enough for this squad? But because we're making the effort to go out and buy those players, we've got a good quality 11 that we can put out there. And it's still not good enough. But hopefully that'll come around in another year or so when players like Moreno start getting their homegrown status. In fact, at the end of this season, I think Moreno gets it, which suddenly is going to make him the first choice league goalkeeper just because of that. And Hammond won't get it for another year after that. Wilson back to Okio. Time and space. He's not exactly a crosser of the ball, so he cuts it back to Wilson, who dinks one in. Caetano gets up and heads it over the top. And I need a little like Stream Deck button for "and Caetano heads it over the top," because frankly, my voice is starting to hurt saying that so many times. And yes, I know he gets his goals, don't get me wrong. I don't hate Caetano, I deliberately went out and chose him. But, Ross bombs up the wing. Driven in low, Perez has got to be off, hasn't he? He's not off. Matthew Perez gets himself only his 3rd goal of the season, which I am very surprised by. I like Perez, and I would love to steal him. Perez has got magnificent finishing, as that kind of proves, to be fair. He doesn't want to move to us. He doesn't want to step down to our level. Obvious comment is obvious. Trevor plays a free kick to Okiowu. Korosevsky takes on Ross, cuts it back, misses Wilson, and maybe putting him up to right wing wasn't the option. He's a good right winger. Vincent wins a header, but only heads down to Zajmi. Back to Watkis. Elarola to Tomlinson. Ward fires one long, and Zajmi is going forward. And suddenly Key is up front. Perez with a header, and I told you I liked him. Holy smokes. Perez gets another one, and suddenly we're not winning. Maybe we just need to go back to what we were doing. All right, okay. Okiowu can go into the middle for Big Trev, and then Korosevsky can come back to right back, and then Craig Rickard can come on the right wing, I guess. And Dave Woods for Charlie Howe. That's our 3 changes. The game has kicked off without me noticing, so that's good news. Korosevsky to Okiowu, who's currently playing right wing on the grounds that I haven't subbed him off yet. Yeah, he's gone now. No, he hasn't. He's gone centre half. Korosevsky's throwing. Wilson. Back to him. Fires in the cross. Woods with the header just wide. I told you he was a good right winger, Korosevsky. He's only good when he's not playing there. I mean, a 2-2 draw is absolutely fine. It keeps us above them. This is away, after all. We have battered them. 29 shots, 11 on target. We've absolutely hammered them. And we've just not been able to get that goal. Perez, outstretched arms. I'll take the draw. Well done. Put up a good fight. Perez is a brilliant centre forward. I don't understand why he's got so few goals. Okay, it's 14 finishing, but his determination is really good. He's 18 years old and his physicals are on the way up. Want. I'm going to try again. I mean, 26 grand and a sell-on fee. Offer accepted. Won't talk about it. Glasses United's traction in the game is not big enough to match his own ambitions. He's not getting in the side for Europa who aren't as good as us. I don't get it. Anyway. Maybe at the end of the season, if we win the league, our reputation boosts, maybe I'll be able to nick him then. Lincoln. We're going to play Lincoln. I'll bash the microphone as well. God, I'm doing well today. Lincoln! Ha-ta-ta! So we're going with the same 11 again. It's Lincoln away this time. Do you remember when Lincoln away used to be the absolute terror of all terrors? Lincoln away. It was a guaranteed loss. Remember those days? Now, I'll be very disappointed if we don't win it. Hammond is in goal with Panagi, Vincent, Sithole, Korosevsky, Howe and Wilson in the middle, Caetano and Stevens on the wings, Peru and Williams up top. Guess what, guys? TTFM is back. It's exactly the same team again. It'll be a different team for the next game because St. Joseph's is in like 2 days. But I don't really understand how Tyson Ruiz has kept his job as Lincoln Redham's manager, considering they didn't even finish 3rd last year. But we owe them, go get them, etc. Be the miracle. Let's do this. Now, Europa did win their next game, so they are above us. If we draw this game, we'll go back above them. If we win it, obviously, that's what we want, then we'll be better. It'll work. Caetano takes on Rooney. Korosevsky to Wilson. Out wide to Trevor, who's popped up at right back for some reason. Aims for Stevens, misses him by miles, and the counter-attack begins. Murphy lifts one towards Watkin. I think Panagi was playing him on. And is my official commentary word of the day. I'm not certain how to spell it, but it's got a few H's in it. Kind of got away with that a bit. Korosevsky throws into Williams. Cross comes in deep. Caetano doesn't go up for it because he's not really tall enough. Wait, hang on. Height's the only thing he's got. Banks breaking down the wing. Breaking in to Bank. Never mind. They're looking quite good. Bruce around the corner to Watkin, who's got a grey mohawk, folks. Murphy on the edge of the area to Blake. Against his former club, perhaps. No. Hamilton. Crossed it in. Panagi's not going to win a header, is he? Ramuni's come forward. Cuts it back. Murphy to Banks. This is a bit easy, isn't it? What was all that about? And suddenly we're 1-0 down. And we've looked awful so far. I'm chucking a berate out there. Why not? You should not have the option to exchange passes with another player inside 12 yards of the goal. That shouldn't be there as an option. Trevor's gone out right back. Why is Trevor at right back? He's not playing right back. He's playing right centre half. But that's 2 highlights in a row where he's just randomly appeared at right back. Is Korosevsky lost? Because you don't cover in that direction. The centre half doesn't go out and cover right back. That's not how it works. Caetano hoops one forward. Williams cuts it back and gets it back from Peru. Has a go, thunders the crossbar. Blake heads away, but only as far as Stevens. We're still on for another chance. Stevens back to Korosevsky, early ball in, very deep. Caetano misses out because he's not tall enough again. I am bashing Caetano. He doesn't deserve it. I like Caetano. He's a good player. And I am a fan of his. Panagi has a throw-in. How? Back to Panagi. Big, deep cross. Watkin heads this one away. Trevor is at right back again. Oh, it's because of the set pieces. I don't know what just happened. Korosevsky sits back for the set pieces because I'd rather have Trevor up front. But instead of going up front, Trevor then falls to right back as we lose possession. Which is the wrong thing to do by every possible count. But never mind. Banks back to Robson. Hamilton to Murphy. Wilson could get sent off with a well-timed tackle here. Korosevsky will have time and space to pick this up. To Stevens. Wilson and Williams exchange passes. Korosevsky's kept going. Slide tackle takes out Stevens, who appeals before going after the ball and still gets there first. Stevens taking on Blake. Cuts back to Korosevsky. Lovely bit of play. Deep cross. Caetano this time is offside. I have no words for you. I have none. None of them. There's 3 of them offside when that cross comes in. It's... Where are we? 35 minutes. Hardly a disaster, but we're going to berate again. Because they like being screamed at, these players. I don't really understand why. But if you berate them, they tend to react positively to it. Not positively enough to create a chance, obviously, but positively all the same. Terrible. Sort it out. I said that calmly. If I start throwing water bottles, they start getting upset. So just calmly, oi, you lot, you shite. Get back out there and do better. I realised that accent went through different time zones, let alone countries, on its way. Anything? I don't think so. I want to bring on Woods, but again, I'd favour Williams because he's homegrown and Icebrewer because he's on fire. I could take off Stevens because he's not homegrown, but that's the thing, is forward of this line, the only player I can... There's 2 players I can replace, Stevens and Icebrewer. The others have to stay because they're homegrown. There's no one on the bench who can... Well, Rickard could replace any of them. Holmes could replace any of them. We'll leave it alone for now. We'll leave it alone for now. We'll demand more. Give it 10 and give him another berate. We're now not getting shots on target, which is really frustrating because we do almost nothing but chance conversion training. We've gone very attacking. We're going to berate again. It's had the same effect. Ibrahim cuts one in. Robson with the header over the top. This is the thing we're having with Lincoln lately, is that we just... This happened in the other games. We're just not creating anything. How is coming off? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? So it has to be Rickard for Stevens at the same time. Do that, and then I can do that. It's a bit harsh on Stevens, really. I'm tempted to take off Icebrewer instead. No, we're going to go with that. Because Icebrewer can do all sorts of magic, even when he's having a poor game. 75th minute, we're still creating nothing. We're still very attacking. Not a highlight to watch. And like I say, this is exactly what happened in the other game. Korosevsky wins the header. Woods back to Vincent. Lifted towards Icebrewer, brings it under control. Then gets clattered by Robson, who is going to go for a little walk. Tender play. It's not going to be enough to get us anything, is it? Five to play, and we're now behind Europa on results. No, we can't be behind them on results. Why are we behind? It must be goal difference. And nothing. And again, Lincoln are just capable of shutting us down. Thrash arms, terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, Lincoln played well. What can you say? That's exactly what happened last time. And now with 2 defeats from 2 against Lincoln, we're 1 point behind Europa, who battered St. Joseph's earlier. Oh, bother, I believe is the technical term. Cheltenham boss Solly March, there's a lot to unpack there, is watching Trevor. He wants to loan the Trevor in. Simply not going to happen. I've got him onto a new contract. He now has a buyout clause of 220 grand. I don't think anyone will activate. Yeah, what happened to Europa? Have they played their game yet? What am I even doing? Competitions. Europa Conference League. Europa drew 3-3 away at Sturm Graz. When is the replay? Thursday. Have we got a game before then? Yes, we have. So I can't go see. We'll come back for the next game, which will be whoever we draw into the second knockout round. And I will see you there. Thank you very much for your kind attention today. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you on Monday. Yes? Days of the week are hard right now. Let's go with Monday. See you there. Bye-bye.